What's up everyone, my name is Adam Sierpinski, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about this trumpet that I'm holding, the Monette 2000 LT B-flat trumpet. It's a trumpet I know very, very well. In fact, it's been more than 20 years since I've played any other trumpet. So as you might imagine, I'm going to have mostly good things to say about this instrument. But at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why, for the first time in 20 years, I've been thinking about other trumpets. So I might be selling this at some point over the next year and moving in another direction. We'll get into that at the end. But before that, let's have a listen. So I'll talk a little bit about how I got into Monettes in the first place. And it really comes down to my very first two trumpet teachers, Richard Ruley, who was a doctoral candidate at the University of Wisconsin, and John Ailey, the professor of trumpet at the University of Wisconsin. When I was in high school, they were both playing Monette trumpets in the Wisconsin Brass Quintet and in the Madison Symphony. And so that's just the sound that I grew up with around Madison. And certainly listening to records as well. Winton's record On the 20th Century was a big one for me. Most of the literature that I was working on with my teachers was also on this record. So it really was just the sound of the trumpet for me. Then when I went to Boston for college, the Boston Symphony was playing Monette trumpets as well. Charlie Schluter, the principal trumpet at that time, played the heaviest Monette C trumpet that they ever made. Big fan of Winton, big fan of Terence Blanchard in those years. I mean, let me correct that. I'm still a very big fan of Terence Blanchard. And so I always wanted a Monette trumpet. I always wanted to try to get that dark, lush sound that these instruments are known for. And so in 2001, before my last year of college, I went to the Monette shop and I tried out the cheapest trumpet that they made, which is the MB111. I loved it and I ordered it. Now the MB111 is a lot like a Bach trumpet, and really the only reason I wanted that one is because it felt in reach. My parents were willing to help me out with that cheapest Monette trumpet, which is a very, very fine instrument, and I got on the waiting list. But at some point before it was too late to change my order, one of my teachers at Berkeley, Greg Hopkins, got the LT. His was silver plated, and I got a chance to play his, and I couldn't not get the LT after I played it. It's much more of a Monette than the MB111 is. It has a little more weight and heft to it. It's got the larger bell. It's got the accelerated radius of curvature tuning slide that kind of accelerates the air through. All these innovations and changes that Monette did that distinguish his trumpets from traditional Bach and Yamaha trumpets, this one has it, and I needed it. So I got it, and I got it just in time for my last semester of college and just in time for my grad school auditions, and I've been playing it ever since. It's really a wonderful instrument. I hope you like the way it sounds as much as I do. And right now I want to show you a couple more examples of really what it sounds like. I'm going to play you a couple fragments of my recordings with a full band so you can listen to it in context with the piano and the drums and all that. So let's take a listen to some more music right now. So I want to touch on the issue of price, which has always been a lightning rod around Monette trumpets. They're very expensive trumpets compared to other trumpets. They're not expensive compared to violins and cellos and acoustic basses and bassoons and lots of other instruments, but they are expensive compared to Bach and Yamaha trumpets. And I know that the price puts them out of reach for some trumpet players, and I think that that's unfortunate, that not everybody who wants one can necessarily buy one in a smart way. So I do want to acknowledge that I think Dave Monette is the best trumpet maker in the world, and I think the trumpets that his shop has been putting out for 40 years now are the best trumpets that the world has ever seen. That's my opinion. You can disagree, it's fine. But certainly he's brought some new things, some innovations to the trumpet that lots of other brands are copying. And I think he deserves to make a good living. I think he deserves to pay his team of employees very well because they're obviously very talented at what they do. They're in Portland, Oregon, which is not a cheap place to live. He's got to pay benefits. I want to live in a world where somebody who's the best at what they do in the whole world can make a good living. And so I'm not insulted that they charge a lot for the trumpets. I wish I could buy 5 of them. I can't, that's too bad. But at least I've had this one for 20 years. So that's my 2 cents on the price. If you disagree, I'm happy to engage with you in the comments if you want to, try to change my mind on that. So lastly, I'll talk about why after 20 years I'm thinking of moving on from this trumpet and going in another direction. And it's not about this trumpet at all. It's actually about my ears. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, and I do more gigs on piano than I do on the trumpet. And I actually do a lot more gigs on bass than I do on the trumpet. And so all the tunes that I know them better in concert pitch than I do in B flat. And so there's always this step of transposing when I play the trumpet. Also, I have perfect pitch, and so when I hear chords, when I hear notes, I'm more likely to hear them in concert pitch than in B flat. In college, I was flipping it, and I was able to hear in B flat natively for a while, but it's just not the case anymore. So I'd really like to move on to a C trumpet if I can find one that feels appropriate for my music, for my compositions that I write and record. And so I think the most likely outcome is that I'll sell this and move to a Monette C instrument, whether that's a trumpet or a cornet. A less likely but still possible outcome is another brand like Inderbennen, or there are a few boutique trumpet makers out there that I'd be willing to try. And I've talked to also a couple of makers about C flugelhorns, which hardly exist in this world, but there are at least 2 of them that I'm aware of in the world, so I might consider going down that route as well. All right, so my memory card is almost full. I've got to cut the video off here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you are new to my channel, know that the main thing I do on this channel is share music, the music that I've written. The best musicians here in Madison, Wisconsin are sometimes on my channel. Covers of pop and jazz songs that I love. So anyway, subscribe, hit the like button, all that stuff that YouTubers always ask you to do, please. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you again next time. Bye.